Welcome back. It is a beautiful January day out there. It's actually above normal temperatures for us. I think we're sitting at like 7 or 8 degrees Celsius outside in the positive, which is insane considering a week ago we were at minus 40. In either case, it is time to get back into the pots, and in the pots today we have the Ballad of Chicken Little. Absolutely love this colorway. It's got a great name, great attitude, and some amazing colors. So we got a little bit of blue splashed on the front here, and then we are tossing in some mouse gray over and above just to kind of mute that out a little bit. Blues and grays actually go really well together. They almost feel kind of like they're in the same family. A gray can kind of feel like it's blue. And then over and above that, we're tossing some bright golden yellow, which is going to give us a little bit of an orange feel. On the front side here, you will notice that orange is mixing in with the blue, and we're getting a little bit of green out of it as well. So we're getting lots of depth out of those, and this is not a high immersion. This is kind of a mid immersion. We've got about a full cup of soak in the pot so that dye kind of travels a little bit further. Yes, the colors do tend to be a little bit more muddy. They don't strike as quick. They go a little bit further, but you get a lot less white. So kind of one of those things you got to play with. Decide, do I want more color? Do I want more definition? And you don't really get both. You just kind of move the slider from one side to the other. So nice and cooked on the front side here. We cook these off for about 8 minutes in the pots. Not a ton of time. We can see a little bit of that color bleeding out. We're going to cook it a lot on the backside. Again, when it's a high immersion, we're talking about quite a bit of color mixture here. So getting all of that dye soaked up so that we don't get any mixing isn't really a necessity. We just basically want to get them in. Making sure that these are fully flipped. We had a couple there that kind of landed on their sides. So there's nothing wrong with trying again. On the backside, we're going to hit it up with that rusty golden, I'm going to call it a golden yellow. It's not. This is that, Highland steer kind of brown orange, burnt orange, if you will, kind of a rust orange. Absolutely love the rust oranges. And then we're going to throw some nice dark blue in here, which is a little bit of midnight, just to kind of darken it up. Now with both of these dark colors being in the pots, they don't mix quite as much as on the front side. So we're getting quite a bit of definition in here. And then we're throwing a little bit of that mouse gray over and above just to darken it up in a few spots and give the overall colorway a little bit more definition. Of course, get your fingers in those pots, get them mixed, make sure that dye goes nice and deep into the pots, and then for a little bit of flair, we're going to add some bright orange speckles. Now these aren't really going to stand out in the end product, but they're going to kind of highlight some of the featured colors that are in there in the first place. So these orange speckles kind of disappear, but they really make that orange pop where they hit, and they kind of lessen the blue where they hit as well. So kind of a cool effect there. Over into the twister. Of course, this is our fingering weight, which is an 80/20 merino nylon. One of my favorites to dye. It usually highlights quite well the overall colors that are in there. They're really bright, really vibrant. All depends on the colors, really. This one here, I actually noticed isn't quite as bright as the worsted and the chunky, oddly enough. So the fingering weight's just a little bit more faded than the other two, but that's okay. You know what? We've kind of stepped it up a notch. We are taking photos of all 4 of our weights for every single colorway that we're releasing from now on. So we're going to have fingering, DK, which I'm twisting up right now, worsted weight, and chunky all in the same photo so that you can kind of see how everything plays on each one of our bases. And that way there's no surprises, right? We don't want to surprise anybody. We want everybody to kind of know what they're getting into. That's for sure. This here is our worsted weight, which is 100% superwash merino. An absolutely beautiful base, and I've probably told you 100 times already, but this is my base. This is the weight of yarn that I really like working with. Beautiful colors, nice definition. Over to our chunky weight, which really surprised me. This pulled all of those oranges out. Absolutely incredible. They're very vibrant in the chunky weight. I got nothing else to say. It is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. We're going to get them into the light box and you can see them all side by side, but the chunky weight really shines for the Ballad of Chicken Little. Get those ends tucked in. I know it kind of cleans things up. Those ends, they're going to be present no matter how you look at it, but tucking them in just kind of makes them look pretty. So this here is our fingering weight. You can see we got those dark blues, dark oranges, everything's kind of pulling through, but it is a little bit more mixed than some of the other bases. So we're not getting some huge definition out of this specific base, the fingering weight. The DK weight, really starting to take and pull some of those oranges out, but we got a little bit of the extra white. I find the DK tends to strike a little bit faster. It sucks up the dye out of the pot a little bit faster, so we tend to get a little bit more white in the colors. Sorry, flip it over to the other side there. Get these two side by side. You can see they're basically the same color, but that DK's got a little bit lighter tones in it. Now this here is the worsted weight. Absolutely love how this one turned out. It's really highlighting those blues and those oranges, those burnt oranges. To me, this is the star of this show here, with the exception of the chunky weight, of course. Look at this chunky weight. Absolutely. Really pulled those oranges. We've got some of those blues in there. Not quite as dark in this skein. I know some of the other skeins had a lot more blue in them. But this one here, I really wanted to show because they're really pulling those oranges out, and we're getting a little bit of a mix from the blue and the burnt orange, and we're kind of getting some highlights of green in there. So that's pretty cool. Absolutely love how bright this is. It's very comparable to the DK weight, just the brightness of colors on this one. But yeah, you can see it side by side there. The chunky weight really kind of stole the show when it came to overall brightness. Worsted weight still my favorite. Doesn't matter what you do to it, it's going to be worsted. Over to the swatcher. So as you can see, this colorway doesn't really seem to be pulling a whole lot of patterns out. Giving it a quick spin in the Addy Express. King size, of course, which I believe off the top of my head has 44 needles. So we got 44 stitches in the round. Not really seeing a ton of patterning, which is great, depending on the project. Sometimes when we've got a little bit less colors in the pots, we tend to get some striping or something like that, but this one seems to be quite variegated, so highly variegated colorway. Throw it into the light box, you can really get an overall look, and you can see the oranges, the blues, they're all nicely spread out across. So not a huge amount of striping. And time to get over to the caker. Today I chose fingering weight. Normally when I'm doing these videos, I like to work with the DK weight or worsted weight, especially in the caker, because fingering weight, 400 meters in a caker takes probably a good 6-7 minutes to produce a cake. Whereas a worsted weight, which is only 166 meters, I can do in like a minute and a half. So pretty big difference there. But yeah, basically we've got our two ends here. One of them is usually tucked in behind, and the other one sits on the front of the hank itself. So if we pay attention to what we're grabbing, usually we can try and get that front string and make sure that we're not pulling from the back of the hank, which will cause some tangles. So getting it wrapped up onto the caker itself. Stupid me, I should have twisted that canker just a little bit. It's a lot easier to have the caker facing away from you while you're trying to put the string on rather than towards you. So it kind of slipped off there a couple times, but no matter, it's on, it's twisting. Get that thing spinning, high speed. Of course, I'm not gonna make you sit through it, but I just absolutely love how this cake turned out. It is stunning. It really highlights, you can't see it in this video, but right here you can see all those colors kind of come out. Absolutely amazing saturation. We got the same colors throughout the whole cake. We're not seeing any dark spots. We're not seeing any light spots. It is just beautifully saturated. So 100% happy with that. Absolutely beautiful. Love it so much. It is that time, of course, to get into the pairings. So I've got 5 different variegated colorways to go with the Ballad of Chicken Little here. First up, we are going to go with I'm Turtly Fine. And everybody says, they're like, I was expecting green. It's got turtle in it. And no, it's deep ocean. You can't see the green. It's just blues. Beautiful dark blues and blacks. It's beautiful. I'm Turtly Fine. In our fingering weight, of course. Those blues kind of matchy there. I really like how they play together. Up next to that, we have another ocean theme, of course. I'm Feeling Jelly. Look at this. More rich blues. We still got that dark blue in there, kind of tying everything together. But we've got some of those bright and baby blues in there. I love this pairing. I love how it kind of fades across there. And of course, where would blues be without Winter Wonderland? Am I right? Absolutely stunning colorway, little bit of blue, and then we've got some black speckles in there as well as some navy speckles in there. So really pulling the blues together on this side of things. On the other side, we're going to go with Back to My Roots. We're going to kind of play into those oranges, those burnt oranges, rusty colors, you know what I mean? And of course, just a tiny bit of green in there, just to pull it all together. Absolutely beautiful. So we could go that direction as well. And up beside that, I have Whispers from the Woods, which is some of those darker browns mixed in with that same green. So that set there is beauty, absolutely beauty. Hope you guys enjoy it too. I will get that up on the website ASAP for you, so that if you scroll down just past the photos a little bit, there's a pairs well with section or goes well with section. So you can kind of see all of these pulled together. On the semi-solid side of things, we've got the Ballad of Chicken Little and our newest semi-solid, which is dark brown. Absolutely love this. I have been missing a dark brown for quite a while. I had a dark brown, but I struggled with it so much. It kept turning purple on me. We were finally able to develop a dark brown that I'm truly proud of, and it seems to be coming out of the pots quite well. And of course, where would a burnt orange be without creamy coffee? Those two kind of go hand in hand. I don't actually have a dark rust, but that creamy coffee plays quite well with that. On the other side of things, Midnight, of course. Nice dark blues. Now, this is a semi-solid. I just want to point this out here real quick. If you're working with semi-solids, I highly suggest... if you're working with multi-skein semi-solids, I highly suggest alternating rows between skeins, because there will be some differences. It is hand dyed. It's not machine dyed. It's not factory dyed. It is hand dyed. So in that Midnight, you can see there's just a little bit of a lighter streak through it. Beside that, I've got my dark blue, which plays off quite well. I know it's not as dark as Midnight, but it is much darker than baby blue, that's for sure. And then, of course, the safe choice would be charcoal. So there are your 5 semi-solids. I'll get those up on the website as well. Time for that big reveal. We've got the 4 skeins, side by side in all of our bases: fingering, DK, worsted, and chunky weight. You can kind of see how all those colors are playing together. Big reveal, of course, is the Ballad of Chicken Little himself. Look at that beauty right there, pulling everything together. Absolutely love it. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I hope to talk to you again soon.